So let's start this little fishing excursion off with a little prayer. Dear fishing gods and all your mightiness, please let me catch a fish so big that even I don't have to lie when I tell the story. Amen. Now, I haven't been fishing. This is actually the first time I've been fishing in, probably over 30 years. It's amazing how much has changed. I remember spending a half hour trying to spud a hole through the ice, and these new ice augers for $150, I got something that I can, a power auger that I can go through the ice in seconds. They are absolutely a game changer. Even the old hand augers that we had were nice, but nothing like this. And the fishing rods. I remember using a rod that was nothing more than the end of a fishing pole shoved in a broom handle with a couple bent nails on it and string wrapped on it. And these things they have now are absolutely awesome. And the price they want for these things, it's ridiculous. Some of these ice rods, they want $300-400. Now what I have here, I'm fishing 10 foot of water. I'm up a couple foot off bottom on each. This one's got mousies. This one here's got a minnow. When I first put down my minnow, within 30 seconds I had a nice bite. I missed him, and nothing since. Now I'm still a little bit on the cheap side here. This isn't an ice shanty. This is nothing more than an old hunting ground blind. Busted up, broke. Probably when I get to Alaska, I'll buy something better. I just need to get back in the swing of this. Have a little fun. And you know you're out of shape when you drag a sled full of equipment a mile across the lake, even though there wasn't much snow. I was overdressed for it. My fat ass was dying. I can tell before I get to Alaska next year, I need to definitely get into shape some. This is not going to get it. So Grandpa took his grandson out fishing. And they're floating around the boat, in a boat on the lake. And they've been out for a while. They weren't catching anything, and Grandpa decides it was time to get his pipe out. So he reaches in his pocket, grabs his pipe, stuffs it full of tobacco, lights it up, sitting there puffing away. His grandson looks over at him and says, "Hey, Grandpa, is that your pipe you got there?" Grandpa says, "Yep, sure is." Grandson says, God, that looks kind of fun. Can I try it? Grandpa says, well, can you touch your butthole with your pecker? Grandson sits there and thinks for a second. Well, no, I can't. He says, well then, nope, you can't have it. So a little while goes by, and it's getting about noon, and Grandpa reaches in the cooler and brings out a beer, and opens it up, sits there and takes a couple swigs, and Grandson looks over at him and licking his lips says, God, Grandpa, that looks like that really tastes good. Grandpa says, yep, it sure does. Grandson says, well, can I try it? Grandpa says, well, can you touch your butthole with your pecker? Grandpa says, well, I told you I can't. He says, well, then no, you can't. A couple hours go by and Grandson's getting hungry. Reaches over, grabs his lunch sack, and pulls out a bag of chocolate chip cookies. He starts eating them, and he gets around to his third one, and Grandpa's eyeballing them and thinking, God, them look good. Hey, boy, can I have one of them chocolate chip cookies? Grandson sits there and thinks a second and says, I don't know. Can you touch your butthole with your pecker? Grandpa sits back and smiles, sticks his chest out and says, well, yes, I can. Grandson says, good, go F yourself, because Grandma made these for me. Nice fishing story for sitting out here on the lake. So all you that do a lot of ice fishing, structure-wise, I mean, I know I'm near weed bed, but I'm in shallow water. Just offside of me is a little drop-off that goes up to about 4 foot, and then in the summer it's lily pads and coontail. What do you look for? I mean, when I was younger, we, go across the lake, set up tip-ups, and spot ourselves a hole and start fishing. I mean, with all the technology now, you can go online and pretty much look at any lake and get where the contours are, the depths, where the weed beds are, lily pads. Which ain't lily pads now, but you still have a little bit of weeds down there. Rock. What's your thought? What do you look for? I picked this spot because I knew in the summer that there was a lot of fish here, and I moved back out towards the drop-off, hoping I catch something. Something that's pretty nice is these little fish finders, depth finders, whatever you want to call them. Pretty cheap, it's $40. If the ice is clear enough, you can go through and take a bottle of water, scrape off the snow in that, pour a little water on the ice, put your transducer on the ice, it'll shoot straight through the ice and let you know what your water depth is. It's really handy. So here at this spot, I'm in 10 foot of water. I'm not far off the bank.
And only about 30 foot over, I'm at 4 foot of water, so I'm close to the drop off. Now, way over there is my auger. And between here and there, it's only 4 foot deep. From the auger this way, 20 foot is 4 foot of water. And then from that spot over to the auger, it drops down to 10. That's how big this point is. It goes a long way. And I figure this is where the fish would be. But I'm not getting nothing. I'll try that spot. And if not there, I got another spot where we got a real steep drop off going from 4 foot down to 30 foot. And I'll fish the edge of that. But this point, you kill the fish in early spring.
So I have been all over this lake. Wind is now picking up quite a bit. I'm glad I have this hunting blind. Has made a big difference. But I have fished drop-offs on the points, everything up to 4 foot of water, all the way up to 10, 12. The other drop-off that drops down really quick to 20 foot, nothing. Now I am on a flat. I'm in 20 foot of water, trying different depths. I got my fish finder, which I do not know why they call it a fish finder, because it doesn't find the fish. But I did put that in just to see if I'll mark anything and at what depth, see if I can get lucky. But otherwise, no, I haven't marked anything, and I've only had one bite. That was the first spot I first put in, and they nailed the minnow and never came back. Tell you one thing, next fishing trip, this fat boy is getting out the four-wheeler and dragging his stuff around the lake that way. I'm too old and fat for this stuff. Okay, I'm not, I'm just out of shape. So I guess the question of the day is still, the bad day of fishing better than screwing your mama? The question, or the answer is, have you seen your mama? Yeah, she's one ugly woman. So I'd rather be out fishing.